Peace. This is Spiritual Lifting with V. Let me get your soul swole. Today's topic is emotional imprisonment. And a lot of times in life, we go through a lot of things. And there are things in this life that we can have from past traumas, past existences, past things that essentially put us in a place where we're confined. Our lives are never going to be the same. They're not going to have any real hope. In this life and in this existence, we must find balance. See, emotional imprisonment is one of those things where we take life for what it is, and we sit there and everything is face value. But a lot of times in life, things are not as we perceive them to be or as we want them to be. And those things can be stains on our existence, especially when they're brought to you by other people. You go through this life, family relationships, love relationships, all types of relationships, right? And you put into your existence, right, this whole element of distrust. It happened to me before, it's going to happen to me again. So this really closes the gate on you allowing anything to be truthful to you. A lot of people like to live in the illusion, henceforth, and thank you for watching, why we are constantly on the internet or TV or movies, because we want to live in that illusionary environment. But take the illusion away. When you start stripping down the illusion to a whole, then everything begins to change. So you start seeing reality, and things are not the way that you saw them, but you have been trusted in the life that you've lived thus to this point, and you don't really get clarity in reality. And what I mean by clarity in reality is that you're not getting what you need, what is proper and prevalent for your existence. So just think about this. You've been running with the illusion for so long, and you have been running with these visuals in your mind and actions of things that essentially, I've talked about this before, are a lie. And so you've convinced yourself that nothing, no one, or anything could be centered around you or love you or care or whatever it is. We have to stop with these behaviors, because everyone that you've previously encountered and everything you've previously done is not necessarily what is going to continue to happen. It's up to you to break that mold, to break that falsity of truth. It's up to you to keep it blended, and realizing that you have to mesh reality and illusion together. Illusion is this state of mind being where these are the dreams, the hopes and the fantasies and things, the way that you would perceive your existence to be. The reality is that everything does not always come out the way you want it to be. We can have great vision, we can have strife and going through and things with a lot of determination. But we get a little mental check, and we get a little physical check, and we get a little existence check. Checking our existence, that'll be another video. And once we check that, and then we go back into ourselves, and then we deepen inside the inner consciousness of ourselves, in our inner verse, is when we can start to break these things and these chains. Once we got that in check, your whole life can be in check. Your whole everything can be in check, because you're not going to fall victim to the falsities of our existence, and then you won't miss out on opportunities that essentially you really needed to have and you really needed to connect with. And these things in life, sometimes we think everybody's the same or everybody's going to do this and that because we've gone through so many experiences, but this is based upon multiple people living the lie that's been told to them. You don't got to be a certain way. You don't got to do a certain thing. Your skin complexion doesn't mean anything, really. I mean, what are you doing with your spirit and your soul? How are you overcoming these blockages within your life? And when you're not doing that, it's emotional imprisonment. Because you've already come into anything. You got to think about this. Everything is a trickle-down effect. The way you live your regular life is going to be exactly how everything else, work life, relationship life, familial life, is going to play out. And what I mean by the way that you live is your attitude towards this existence, your attitude towards people. Stop people and just look and take a little bit of time to re-access and access everything that is great for you. We often put away God's gifts, the Creator. Thank you, Father. Gifts for us to be something that we are not living. And in this perspective, if you are walking in the truth and you're living in the truth, then you will see things not in an illusionary state, but in reality. Everyone is not out to get you. Everything is not a lie. Everything is not a falsity. Sometimes we've walked right into Eden. And in this existence, on this beautiful planet, which is a pleasure planet, and we have things here to give us the greatest outcome in life, in one existence. Because once you live this physical shell, you know where you go is very deep. None of the things of your desires or your wants, you'll have the memories, but they won't be there. And so, saying that, entering new realms of life, entering new realms of existence, we cannot go and trash it or sprinkle it with any of our past experiences, because you never know. The Creator may be placing something right in your hand, and you can't allow yourself to be emotionally imprisoned, because it stifles your progression. Every day, wake up, be in deep gratitude and appreciation. And if the Creator has put something in your life, even if it's for the moment, watch and understand the way that the Creator works and how He navigates you and pushes you through anything that you have had difficulties with. You have to remember, this is life, this is learning, this is experience. Every day is not going to be, as they say, hunky-dory or beautiful. Every day is not going to be 100%. We're not going to get that. Be satisfied with 85%. Excuse me. Love one another and hold true to having understanding towards one's life and existence. Because your existence and the way that you live and what you do may not be their existence. I just, at this moment, want to say thank you so much. If y'all been tuning into me for the last few years, there's a lot of great knowledge, and I have a lot of pretty dope videos. Um, we have to take ourselves and put ourselves to a place and get ourselves into a state of reckoning. A state of reckoning with our own inner verse, in our own self, continuing to make massive efforts for world improvement, life improvement. It starts with you. So, if you feel like you've been emotionally imprisoned, break it. My grandmother, and I said it before in other videos, told me some of the wisest things that I could ever find out, know, or whatever. Listen. If you don't like what you're doing, stop it and change it. If you don't like the emotional state that you're going through, stop it and change it. If you feel like it's stifling you and keeping you and preventing you from living a better existence, stop it and change it. It's pretty simple. In our lives, we think we have to keep pressing and going on, and because we're told so many things. You got to stay married. You got to do this. You got to have this career. You have to do what you want to do, and whatever the outcome is, it's the outcome. But if you are doing works out of the goodness, everything will always work out. You have to remember that the Creator promised us everything. He's given us everything. What do you want? How are you going to choose and select things in our existence? How are you going to choose and select things for your life? We don't want to be and allow ourselves to be emotionally imprisoned because of past encounters with narcissists or just people who want to cage you and keep you down, not seeing you reach the best potential of yourself. And sometimes the best potential of someone is something that you have to come to an understanding about, a way of life that you have to come to an understanding about. Often people want personal self-justification, and it's okay what I do, but it's not okay what you do. Let's be serious, man. Let's not judge one another. For he without sin cast the first stone, and no one threw a stone. And you have to understand that as much as you dislike another person's life, another person's way of living, another person's existence, maybe you haven't come to a full understanding of why their existence is the way that it is. Sometimes what you would do in life is not what they would do in life. And sometimes the Creator places us in certain situations in life, in certain things in life, that will allow us to be ourselves, indulge, and take part in, but place us in places and situations where we have an opportunity to bring the Creator to other people, and they just have never seen that. And you have to understand, all things that people do are not bad. You don't know why the Creator has kept them alive or, placed them in certain situations, or they're even doing things. One good teller is, if a person can do something and completely walk away from it, it's not as the things that you see, and it's not the things that it seems to be. They're being placed in a situation to be essentially a pawn, or maybe a guider, or a king, or a rook, whatever. You can take it to chess, checkers, whatever. However you want to see it. The game of life. And sometimes we're just placed in certain situations, and we're given the opportunity to do things that most people would never even have a chance to do. You know how many people really wish they could just not go to work today, call off, or whatever it is, party it up a little bit, because they don't have the time. Their life is so demanding, it's so stressful, so be in appreciation and gratitude completely for everything that you have. Every day, every moment, and you'll be happy. Because whatever comes your way, however it happens, don't look to the negativity. Look to the positivity. And look to what lessons have been shown to me? How have I been guided, and where does this take me next? And I think if you dig deep inside the universe and you really do that review, you'll see how the Creator has designed and lined up your entire existence, and how the Creator has placed you in a place for you to grow. Growth is ever happening. Growth is ever coming. Do you want to grow? You can stop and do nothing and stay in the same state of existence that you are, or you can see the fullness and the goodness that the Creator has given you for your existence, and you can break the emotional imprisonment, because it's a very deep thing. I think emotional imprisonment from birth, and I've spoken about this on another video. Birth is violent as hell. Violent. If you get a C-section, they pull you out by your foot or your arm, and they hang you and they dangle you. If you come out the womb, there has to be help, and you snatched, and then you're, boom, bursted into another reality. Very traumatic from the very beginning. We need to go all the way back and have confirmation and be comfortable with entering into our present existence. Once we do that, we can start to break the emotional imprisonment. Because the emotional imprisonment is nothing but things that we didn't expect, or we weren't prepared for, or we weren't ready for in our existence. And then we cling on to those things because those are the things that we're used to, the ways that we're used to, and what we know. Listen, our life, our existence, our presence in this fantastic universe is eternal. And there's so many stages that, if you haven't had the experience, you may not understand it. But there's so many experiences, and we have to know how to capitalize and just relax. Everything is not a tense situation. Everyone's not trying to do the same things to you that maybe people who are misguided have done to you. And they're encaged and engulfed in their emotional imprisonment. Whether it's familial, love, or whatever, there's always something. Blockages. Daily, blockages need to be cleared. It's the same way daily you should be making up your bed. Daily you should be cleaning up your kitchen. Daily you should be cleaning your environment to feel that open up in this and freeness. Have you ever gone into your own place and said, I need to do a deep cleaning? But once you do that deep cleaning, the air is lighter. The environment is lighter. You might put on some music and dance around. Well, listen. The same way that a cluttered home can make you feel imprisoned is the same way a cluttered inner body can bring you the same imprisonment. Let's let go of it. Let's face it. We did the time we've existed in this life. And let it go and realize no matter what it is, this is our existence. And these are the things that happen. Confirm with yourself that it's okay. And then allow it to release. Things, and it's not that easy because there's a ton of things that are tough in our existence. Survival alone, day-to-day things, gas, the stresses that they put on you from the news and the internet. These things, and then whatever you have going on in your internal body. There's so many things that can stress us and that can take us to a place of unwell-being. We have to break the emotional imprisonment. Let yourself go. Be who you really are. Never accept these people doubting you or taking you from your true self, whatever that may be. People don't have to agree with your reality as long as your reality is lived in goodness and then your reality is lived in going ahead and further and connecting with the Creator, because the Creator is here to guide us. The universe is here to guide us. It is here to take us to every single place we want to be. Now, people, I understand. I haven't put up a video for a long time. Yep, and it's a lot that I'm saying. But if we start with these bases, we can learn to have a healthy love relationship no matter what it is. But if you reside in emotional imprisonment, then it's going to be a problem. Just to let you people know, all these pieces behind me, I do some art and I create things. A lot of people know me for my art, Viszario Galini. Go ahead and get yourself a Galini, right? I do everything. Let's be in the flow. And I just do that plug out there just to let you know. Sometimes you have to find all kinds of ways to express yourself and to break the emotional imprisonment. Some people sing, some people dance, some people like to box, some people go to the gym. Whatever it is you do, find a way to emotionally express yourself so that when you do get into a love relationship, or you want to deepen a family bond, a familial bond with a friend, that you can have some things cleared and you can come into a clear understanding that everything is not a lie. You have been told lies. You've been told lies. And in order to disintegrate those lies, you have to come to the truth. But sometimes just coming to the truth is not a discussion. Sometimes it really takes the inner work to break yourself away from emotional imprisonment. We run into a lot of relationships in our life because we're so used to being emotionally imprisoned that we're willing to accept more imprisonment. And what I mean by this piece is that you're willing to come into a space where it's not love. It's threatening. It's arguments. It's suspicion. It's lack of trust. These things are no good because anyone exhibiting any of this is still in a state of emotional imprisonment. And you have to break it, and you have to trust within yourself. Because even if you can't entrust it within yourself, then you're simply in solitary confinement of life. And then it gets smaller and smaller and smaller and harder to break free. Listen, if you have been in this existence and you have had situational experiences where you have felt or been emotionally imprisoned, let me know. I really would like to hear these stories because I will definitely elaborate for sure on this topic. Because it's a thing that people suffer. You're one way and your family wants you to be another way. But they're not letting you be who you are. And if you're not being who you are, you're emotionally going to be in prison because certain things about you, your existence, and yourself, they're not going to happen. They're just not. You're going to be an embodiment of self-hate. And we don't want that because I never do anything right, or I can never find the right relationship, or or these people and this guy and this girl and it seems like they're all the same, but you have to let go because everyone is not. The problem is you're emotionally imprisoned, and then you're dealing with other emotionally imprisoned people, and so the suspicions, the hatred, the whatever thing, the self-sabotage, it all starts to come into play, right? Because of the emotional imprisonment. You've locked yourself into a societal lie. Let it go. We can all be better. We can all do better. Again, this is a deep topic, and there's so many avenues. Everything is just, it's an octagon, right? It can reach out so many different ways. But if you enjoyed this topic, and thank you for viewing, And I'm gonna get back on these videos. You know, it's time. Let it go. See all this toughness and these things that are happening in society and the way that is going on. I mean, children are killing adults. Adults are killing children. You can't trust anything, or government lies. We lie. I mean, it's just a trick. It's just a waterfall, trickle-down effect, waterfall. All these things happen, but if we start from the very beginning to heal, you don't need, I mean, when you go to a therapist, you go to a psychologist, it's healing. People are afraid to heal because you have to confront and do a self-facing and admit that I'm emotionally damaged. Everyone is. Not one person that has ever existed on this planet is not emotionally damaged. And again, I will bring it back from birth. You are ripped from the mother's womb. There's no closer embodiment of a relationship other than being birthed. And when you're taken from that and you're thrust in and you're put in this new environment and you're put in front of new people, well, there's a certain amount of trust that's been broken because you trusted to be in the mother's belly and you trusted to be fed through your umbilical cord, and these things are cut off and boom, you're burst into reality. But we never really think that far back. Where do the problems stem from in our existence? Take time to reflect on your existence and find comfortability in your existence. And then that way you can begin to get into the flow of life. If you've liked this subject matter and you want to comment or you want me to elaborate on the subject matter, let me know. I love to just get in conversations, a back and forth correspondence, and I'm always willing to do a part 2 to a video. Or maybe this is just what you needed for today. But whatever it is, break the chains that bind. And find a way to alleviate and release and escape your emotional imprisonment. I think that if you do this, you'll find the growth and you'll start to increase your inner light and your inner being and your inner self to a much higher glowing place. The place that you need to be at to move on to the next stage of our existence. Sometimes people in this life are, hey, I don't feel like I'm getting there, I don't feel like it's happening. But maybe you need to just go back and do the review and break the emotional imprisonment. Thank you for listening. And as always, the children are what's most important. They are the future and we are the past. But by going back and doing the work on our inner universe, and breaking these chains of emotional imprisonment, we can all be the future. This has been Spiritual Lifting with V. Let me get your soul swole. Peace.